Hey YouTube, Pop Culture Candy here. Another video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about some speculation books on in Marvel, mostly Marvel. I got a bunch of books here to show you guys. The rumors with Ghost Rider. It's definitely going to happen. I mean, if you guys watched the previous episode, you know I'm a diehard Ghost Rider guy. So I want to talk about some undervalued books. Okay, so, all right, since we're talking Ghost Rider, the first Ghost Rider book I want to talk about, not Marvel Spotlight 5, not Ghost Rider 1 or 2 with Hellstorm. I want to talk about, okay, this is Ghost Rider number 1. This is the origin of the Ghost Rider. This is Carter Slade. Okay, Carter Slade made his debut in Tim Holt books. Tim Holt was a cowboy. He was kind of like Roy Rogers in the I'm gonna maybe late 40s, early 50s. That was before my time. But he was it was just like little filler stories in Tim Holt books, and I guess he got so popular that they loved him. And he just ended up getting his own series in Magazine Enterprises, and it was the Ghost Rider was the I don't know exactly how many books there wasn't a lot of them. I really don't know. I know there in this series there is 7 books, and I believe they took most of that material came from Magazine Enterprises. I guess they took the pivotal points in the stories and stuff, and I guess Marvel somehow acquired the rights from Magazine Enterprises and reissued 7. There was 1 through 7 in this series, and this book is very, very undervalued. All right, everybody's looking for Marvel Spotlight 5 and Motorcycle Ghost Rider. Okay, so that's book number 1. Okay, book number 2. Now, we know that Werewolf by Night is going to come. He's got a Halloween show. I think it's going to be on Hulu. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the forum where it's going to be on, but there's a Halloween special. This book's a little pricey, but right now, I really don't think anybody's really hunting it down. It kind of cooled off a little. And this is obviously Jack Russell. I don't know the name of the new guy. I really don't. But this to me, this is Werewolf by Night. And this is the origin. This is Marvel Spotlight number 2. And everybody knows Marvel Spotlight was obviously the spotlight on characters and see, how well the fans accepted them. And if they did well, then they, got their own series. Okay, next book. It's a little, everybody wants this book right now, but I think it's kind of cooled out a little bit. And I think if you really, really hunt and follow auctions or just watch, you could find this book for a good price. And this is Tomb of Dracula. Tomb of Dracula number 1. This is the first appearance of Dracula in Marvel. And I really, really think that Dracula's coming. He made a brief appearance in, I think, the 3rd Blade movie. But it was good. I liked it. I liked the way what they did with him. But I mean, could have definitely done better. I just love the fact that Jerry Conway took his rendition of Dracula from Jack Palance, who was another. He was an actor from the 60s and 70s. I think he was on Bonanza or Gunsmoke, another cowboy guy, go figure. Okay, so that's Tomb of Dracula. Like I said, I really think there's, if you do your due diligence and have patience and, don't get caught up in, I need this book now, just put it on the back burner, get your ducks in a row, and when you're ready to pull the trigger, I think that book has got a lot. There's still a lot of room on this book. Really is. Maybe you can get a decent, mid-grade to higher grade book and raw, and send it out yourself and get it graded if that's your thing and that's what you're into. Me, not so much. I have some graded books, but I'm more into. I like to actually physically open my book, and not that I'm manhandling them, but I like to flip through a page and time again. I want to read the story. All right. So the next couple books I got. All right. If Marvel goes with the horror genre, it's just going to open up so many. They'll have so many characters to choose from. So these two books are the same book, but they're later printings. This is Classics Illustrated, okay, and this is the later printing. This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, okay. They already made a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen where they took Mina Harker from the Dracula story. They took Alan Quatermain, who was a legendary hunter. They had Tom Sawyer, and they had Dorian Gray, which was a great novel. If any of you guys ever read The Picture of Dorian Gray, absolutely awesome book. Very old. It's an old book. You're going back, but really great read, great story. And Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was also part of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows what Marvel can do with this, Maybe they'll make some sort of adaptation of that, that would be phenomenal. I actually have that book. I couldn't find it, otherwise I would have thrown that one in there. But this is the first printing of the same book. And this is Classics Illustrated. Okay? So this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I personally like the later printing. I just feel it's a little darker and a little more, with that real photo, kind of painting. It's a little more ominous. I got a more haunting feeling. Not that this isn't cool, but I just feel like the later printing is good. Okay, so where's the okay, now on the note, we're staying on Classics Illustrated. So I got first and second printings on these. I'll show you the second printing first. Okay, this is Frankenstein. Okay, Mary Shelley. We all know the story. Many adaptations have been done. I personally liked Robert De Niro's playing. If none of you has ever seen that, it was Frankenstein. It came out in the 90s, and Robert De Niro played Frankenstein monster, and they took it in such a great direction. But okay, here's the first printing. This book is very old. This book dates back to, I believe, the 40s, and actually this is the first printing of Frankenstein. This is the first adaptation in comic form for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I believe my comic shop, to what validity there is or not, I don't know. But in their liner notes on, they put little notes in the description of the books, and I believe they said that this might have been the first horror publication in comic book form. So I just this is a beat up copy, but like I said, I don't care. At one point, if you watch my previous video, I was talking a little bit about, my background and everything. And just for a while, I was just into hunting and preserving and saving books before they just disappeared, And I just feel like this is one of those books where I didn't care the shape of it. It's got some right by my finger, I believe. Yeah, right, yeah. On the bottom right. It's got some damage. But all in all, the book's complete. It's got some spine damage, but great book. Love it. Okay, next book. Now, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to this one. Okay, since we're on Frankenstein, Marvel's rendition, Monster of Frankenstein. Okay, this is the first appearance of Frankenstein in a Marvel comic book. If if they bring Ghost Rider, they're gonna open up these other, especially with the multiverse, now that they tied that in. So they could do anything. They have so many different genres that they could delve into, and it could actually even weave in and out of each other. Whether it be obviously Spider-Man and Marvel team up, I don't know the number, but I mean Frankenstein ended up in the X-Men as well. Even though it turned out to be, spoiler alert, it turned out to be an android. But anyway, regardless, it was still Frankenstein. Okay, next book is Tomb of Dracula 18. This is the first appearance of our first meetup crossover of Werewolf by Night and Dracula. This book is way undervalued, and they're definitely gonna incorporate that. If they bring Werewolf by Night, they'll probably end up with Dracula first and Blade. I'm not gonna go into. I have a Tomb of Dracula 10, but that's I'm sure if you did your due diligence and you can get a good deal. That book exploded though. So I'm just going after books right now. I'm giving you guys some ideas of just some undervalued books. Okay, so the next book. Now, not too long ago, Marvel bought the rights to Atlas. Okay, and they only made 2 issues. I couldn't find I have another copy. I have the number 2, but this is number 1. And this is Planet of Vampires. Now, who knows? I'm not saying it's going to be anything. It's going to materialize into anything. But they have the rights. So who knows if, they somehow tie this stuff in to, with the whole, they're going with Secret Wars. Just like everything ended in Endgame. Everything culminated into Endgame. I truly feel that everything now is going to culminate into the Secret Wars. And they're in outer space, man. So this is, once again, Atlas Comics. This is Planet of Vampires number 1. I think there was 2. There might be 3, but I know it didn't go no more than that. But I have 1 and 2. And if there is, I got to check and see if there is a 3rd issue. And if there is, I got to hunt it down for myself. If anybody wants to leave a comment, let me know. Anything that I'm talking about that you got some insight on, I would love to hear somebody else's take. Okay. Since we're staying, okay, you know what? Let me go to this one. All right. This isn't the first appearance, but for a while, everybody was hunting the first appearance because of the Elementals, and the Elementals ended up in the Spider-Man movie. Was it Far From Home? I believe. Yeah, they didn't do him justice though. But this is, and obviously it's horror. So this is The Living Mummy. This is number 11. I believe it started with, number 8. I believe number 6 or number 8. But anyway, I happened to come across this at a tag sale, and literally the guy was like, I don't know, 50 cents. And I was like, absolutely. I bought a few books, and the guy gave me a shit ton of books for like, I don't know, $5 or something. But I was happy with that. Oh, I got a Return of the Jedi limited series. I think number 3, I think. The one with Darth Vader on the cover. But yeah, 50 cents. Hell yeah, all day. All day. Okay. We're staying in the vein of vampires. All right, so this is a very, very underrated book. This is The Sword of Solomon Kane. Now, this book intertwines with Conan and Red Sonja, and this is a 6-issue limited series. And this book, Solomon Kane, has a direct link to Dracula. The first vampire was Varney, and Varney is still around, but he was the Lord of the Vampires, and he relinquished his title as Lord of the Vampires when he made Dracula. Okay, so everybody knows the Dracula storyline, and how he came to be. But this is Marvel's, Marvel's prehistory into Dracula becoming the Lord of the Vampires. So Solomon Kane was a vampire hunter. And he did, I don't know if he battled Varney, but I know he did hunt vampires. Whether he came across Dracula or not, I really don't know. I didn't even read the story, but I know about this. And that's why I picked this book up. And this was another dollar bin find at a flea market. And I said, for $1? Hell yeah. So this is a very, very undervalued book. This is a dollar bin book. Might be a couple bucks now because maybe people, jumped on it. But I wanted to let you guys know. Even Conan has a history with fighting vampires. So I'm sure there's some books, in the Conan run, the early Bronze Age stuff, that delves a little, maybe it interweaves into the vampire stories. Okay. Now this is another undervalued, unheard of one-shot. Okay. This is the Death of Dracula. Okay, this is the actual death of Prince Vlad the Impaler. So this was just a one-shot, and whether he's a one and done, or I doubt highly that they're going to do one and done with Dracula like they did with Dormammu, and a couple other characters, Crossbones. Even though he was in a couple movies, but he only appeared once as Crossbones, and then that was it. I really don't think they're going to be one and done with Dracula. But like I said, this is a one-shot, and this is the Death of Dracula. So if it is one and done, I don't know if they're going to incorporate this storyline. And this is a second print variant. I don't know what the first print looks like, but I came across it, like I said, in the dollar bin at a garage sale. And I said, this in the Solomon Kane book, who knows where they're going to go with vampires. Okay, staying in the vein of vampires, I have a couple Curtis magazines here. I love these things. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved Curtis magazines. Okay, this is Dracula Lives #2. Okay, and this book is the origin of Dracula. The official origin issue, the birth of Count Dracula. And it also has, it takes place in New Orleans, and it's just great. I believe Neil Adams did the artwork for Dracula on here. Let me try to get rid of the glare. I'm trying to find the spot, guys. I'm sorry. I just absolutely love Neil Adams' rendition of Count Dracula on this cover. With the girl, it's just absolutely amazing. She actually kind of reminds me of the girl in, what's the Swamp Thing? First appearance of Swamp Thing. House of Mystery. It must have been his girlfriend at the time. I don't know. Maybe he, he was smitten with this girl, and, he kind of incorporated her into his drawings, her likeness anyway. I hope that's the case, because she's pretty cute. Once again, we'll show the girl. There she is. How you doing, sweetheart? All right, this is Dracula Lives #2 from Curtis. Curtis was like Marvel's magazine. They did Vampirella comics. Okay, now, there's another, not a lot of people know about this book. Some people do, but this is the first solo story of Morbius. Okay? This is Vampire Tales. That was Dracula Lives. This is Vampire Tales #1. Okay? Another great Warren Treasury-sized book. Absolutely great artwork inside. Absolutely awesome. And this is the first Morbius in book form. Before he, I don't know if it predates ASM 101. I believe it does. Or maybe this is his, right after that. They gave him his own storyline in this. I'll have to check that on you. I should have did my homework on that one. But those two are good undervalued, You know, I know more people collect comic books than they actually do magazines, but still, it's got some significance. And like I said, these are underrated, undervalued books outside of, you know, the Marvel Spotlight 2, you know, and the Tomb of Dracula 1. But like I said, you can if you have your patience and you do your due diligence and just take your time, you can get a good deal on those books and you can turn a profit if that's what you're into, or you just want to keep them for your collection. This is my PC stuff. Okay. Obviously, I really, really think that the Ghost Rider is, as much as I love Johnny Blaze. That's my boy. You know, Johnny Blaze is, you know, that's what I grew up with. And that's my favorite Marvel character. But I really think they're going to, you know, Nicolas Cage, I really, you know, I love Nicolas Cage as an actor. I really don't think he really didn't fit the role for that, man. He's just a little too, like, not comical, because he's a very serious actor, but I don't know, man. He's a little quirky. And Johnny Blaze is not a quirky guy. Johnny Blaze was you know, just a all out, like, all American dude who, you know, who was a thrill seeker, you know, and I just didn't see Nicolas Cage really doing that part justice, you know. I mean, not to say it wasn't a good movie, because it was, but I just feel like Johnny Blaze they could have got somebody better for that, you know. I guess Nicolas Cage was big at the time, and it's just like how Val Kilmer was Batman for one movie. That was like, you know, I don't know. George Clooney too, just because he's popular and stuff. I don't know. I never understood the logic to that. Me, if I was making movies, I kind of want somebody who was like, you know, a little, you know, B-level kind of guy that who has the potential to be an A-level, you know, actor, and just take that role, like, just, you know, like, wow, thank you for giving me the opportunity to shine, you know, and I'm just gonna, you know, like Heath Ledger did with the Joker. You know, Jack Nicholson was great in the original Batman movies, but Heath Ledger, to me, he set the frickin' bar for the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I like Joaquin. I think he's amazing as Johnny Cash. I mean, I thought for like a couple minutes, I actually suspended disbelief and believed that I was watching Johnny Cash. All right, so anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But like I said, if they do Ghost Rider, I think they're going to go with Danny Ketch. And everybody knows, everybody's hunting this book already, but I just feel like maybe it kind of died down a little. And this is the Midnight Suns. This is the first part in the 6-part Midnight Suns. This is Ghost Rider number 28. And this is the first Midnight Suns. And we know that if they go Danny Ketch, even though Johnny Blaze was there too, but I really feel like they're gonna go with Danny Ketch as Johnny Blaze. And they definitely, if they go Danny Ketch as Johnny Blaze, it's definitely gonna lead into a Midnight Suns, whether that be a spin-off on Netflix or Hulu or whatever the forums are now. I really, this is my original copy. Oh no, this is not. I bought this later on. I don't know if I paid that, but this is a sealed copy. I have a few copies of this. I bought one right off the rack, and I never even opened it back in the 90s. But okay, I got one book left. It's kind of out of the tangent a little, but it's still horror and monster. Okay, he was in the Legion of Superheroes, and this is the first appearance. This is the first Man Thing in his own book. Obviously, not in. I think he premiered in Howard the Duck. And then they gave him Marvel Premiere had some issues too, and then I guess it held up enough sales where they gave him his own series, and that's the last book I got for you guys. I just threw this in there because it's very, very undervalued, super cheap book. Not too many people are hunting it. You know, I kicked myself in the butt. I want to say yes, there it is. I tried to avoid it, but I did. I cursed. yeah, I had a chance to buy Legion of Monsters. What did I say? Legion of Superheroes before? Legion of Monsters. Morbius, right? Ghost Rider. And I was at a local comic shop, and the guy had it, but he had a Tomb of Dracula #10. And I was like, there's no way I could afford both of these. And he had such a great price. He had a great price on both books, but I was like, I'll take that. He had it up on the wall, and he was like, I'm having a sale on all my top shelf books. And I said, all right, I want to see that Tomb of Dracula 10. And he took it down. You know, it's probably mid-grade. You know, maybe next time I'll show that book off. It's definitely a mid-grade book, but for the price, there was no way. I was like, Legion of Monsters, I'd put on the back burner for another day, whatever. But that book's eating up. It really is. But guys, pop culture candy. I hope you guys, like, subscribe, leave me comments. I got another video up. If you could watch that too. I want to get this thing going. You know, I'm really excited about this. You know, this really, I'm totally loving it, and I want to thank you guys for sitting through and drop me some info on what you think. You know, what's your take on some of these books? Do you think, or do you have some ideas that you can, put me in the fold at what you got, what you're thinking Marvel monster wise, because the potential is really, really unlimited at what they could do. I mean, hell, they could even do Marvel Zombies. But that's enough rambling. I don't want to keep you guys too long. All right, God bless all of yous. Pop culture candy, you know what to do. Later on.